If I have not convinced, a good way to start a video. If I have not convinced you, whether you're a teenager or a parent watching this video, that teenagers should be playing video games, if not more video games, then feel free to dislike this video and report me to the police because I am supposedly ruining the younger generation. And just so you know, I'm not using this as cope. I would list my credentials, but quite frankly, no one cares. I'm just a regular dude, okay? But you're probably looking at this like, what the hell? Basically, I am going to explain to you why this guy, a teenager from the age of 9 to 18, who does play video games, usually ends up in a better spot compared to this guy who doesn't play video games. And this is from my own experience, but I'm not going to be biased. We're going to list the positives and the negatives of each lifestyle. However, I'm a bit biased towards this one. When I was 9 years old, I don't recommend this to any parents out there. My dad brought me and him the newest GTA 5. My dad didn't really care in a good way. I was too immature to understand anything. All I do is go online, buy cars, earn money somehow, and then customize that car. That's all I really did and drive it around. And I fell in love with making money, customizing the car. I fell in love with making progress on the game. So the first benefit of this lifestyle that I saw was my desire to make progress. It started off just in the game, but I will explain to you how that translated into real life as we progress through the ages. So I was making a ton of progress in GTA. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I loved driving cars around. So when I got a little bit older, maybe, 11, 12 years old, my friends started playing video games as well. They were playing like the Wii, and I didn't really, I just played the Xbox. I loved it more. I'll list some of the games I used to play with my friends here around 2017, 2018. And I don't know if it was just genetic, but I could not settle for second place. But I truly believe the reason why I had this really competitive nature, just to be better at my friends at the video game, not for some egotistical reason, I just wanted to be the best, was because I had developed this innate desire for progress at 9 years old from playing GTA. In games like COD, NBA, like even FIFA, I just wanted to be the best, like against my friends and also against the people I'd play online. And around, I'd say, when I hit 12, around halfway through 12 years old, 2018, my friends started playing basketball. And same thing happened. I started playing basketball because I followed the crowd. I wanted to fit in. So I just had this drive, this ambition to become the best basketball player I could possibly be because of the progress aspect, which then later went into a extremely competitive nature. And from the ages of 12 to 15, I grinded basketball at least 1 to 2 hours per day. Not just playing around, but doing like specific drills, because at 12, I made it a goal to try and make the NBA one day, due to this extremely competitive nature I had developed. And for the parents out there, or the more mature teenagers, during the ages of 12 to 15, due to this hard work, I learnt a lot of valuable skills. I had developed such a strong sense of purpose and a strong character. I learned how to bounce back from injuries. I learned how to bounce back, or not really bounce back, but control myself when I did score a lot of points in a game and not go too far and get overexcited, right? When I did play a bad game, I learned how to relax myself. All of these skills have been so valuable to me, which stemmed from the fact that I got into video games when I was young. P.S. You can develop this through anything. Sports in real life when you're really young, board games, I can't really think of anything else. But video games are a way to do this. Of course, I'm not telling you to get your kid, or if you're a bit younger, get addicted to them at a young age. No, it's just the aspect of the video game I'm talking about. At 14 and a half, I tried out for a pretty big basketball team that would put me on the radar to a lot of scouts. NBA scouts, NBL scouts for the Australians out there. But long story short, I didn't make it. Most of you guys know this. And after I got cut, I fell deep into a depressive, let's call it that, stage of my life, where I used video games as a way to escape, as a way to hide from my feelings of, I'll use this very, very lightly, depression. So, the first positive that you can get from not playing video games is no addiction to it, because it can become an addiction. It can. I was very, very lucky that it didn't become an addiction for me. But let's be honest, I spent probably, I'd say, a good 3 months in this depressive stage of my life where I had no purpose and video games was my only sense of joy, but I couldn't handle it. The reward of video games was not enough. Seeing my character level up in NBA, seeing my rank go up in GTA, it just wasn't it. I needed it in real life because I had discovered the feeling of reward in real life, right? Video games offer a high or a low risk, low reward, but in real life, it's a high risk, high reward. I love that element of risk and fear and reward. I loved it. So I started this YouTube channel. Money does not come first in this channel, but it took me 2 years to make $1, to make a single dime from making content every single day. I sacrificed a lot of my youth from 15 to 17. I did. But due to this character I developed from 12 to 15 years old, which stemmed from playing video games when I was very, very young, I was able to see some success in this app. I was able to when I hit about 17 and a half, but that's not it. I would say the best reason for me playing video games when I was young is not all these benefits I've talked about from here onwards. This competitive drive that I'd say I contribute at least 75% of that to playing video games when I was young. I would say that. Might be wrong. Around 6 months ago, when I think it was maybe, a couple of months after I turned 18, maybe shorter, maybe longer, I can't really remember. But I remember that I had an old Xbox 360 I used to play right here. The GTA I used to play on it in the back shed, out in the shed out there. Sitting there for years. Had all dust over it, but somehow it still worked. I had Minecraft, I had the Simpsons game, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, GTA 4, used to love that as well. The Arkham series, some certain Spider-Man games, Web of Shadows, I don't know, some of you will remember those. But, oh man, it was the most free joy, peace I had ever experienced since probably around 12 years old. Since ever playing with my friends, I don't really play games with my friends much anymore. I do sometimes, but that freedom I used to experience, no worries, no responsibilities, I experienced that again for the first time in probably 6 years. And the amount of inner child development I had after that, my creativity and just my happiness, man. Just smile. I just couldn't stop smiling when I was playing the game. And a lot of people say that video games are a waste of time, but when you're experiencing that joy, I really don't think it is. And that motivates me now at this present time because of the video games I had played from 9 to 12 years old. Also the sports I used to play with my friends, all these freedom, these times that bring off a lot of freedom. They motivate me to create more times like that for myself through YouTube and other areas of my life. And also not just me, but for my future wife, for my parents, for my family, and for my future kids. Not to spoil them and let them play video games 8 hours per day. No, I'm not saying that. But just give them the opportunity. If they choose to play video games, I don't know, I'd probably say max an hour a day. Maybe when you're 12 plus years old, they can do that. And they can experience their childhood to their fullest. So, well, this is rubbed out. The next benefit is freedom / nostalgia that I personally use to motivate myself further. A lot of people will see this nostalgia of the old times. I wish I could go back and drown themselves in, bad habits. You see it, alcohol, drugs, because they want the past to come back. So if that's a negative for you, well, I don't know. But for me, it's a positive. It just motivates me to create more times like that. I always wanted to be a YouTuber. That was one of my biggest dreams. Video games had a lot to do with that. I used to watch video game YouTubers.
What's up guys, Piggy here today, and today I'll be showing you my PlayStation 4 collection.
I wouldn't, you see me usually on these videos, you can tell I'm kind of passionate about what I'm talking about. I wouldn't have this passion if it wasn't for this. Wouldn't have it. However, as I've said a couple of times in this video, you don't want them to become your life. If you're playing them to escape, it's probably not best for you, bro. Okay, you know whether it's good for you or not. If you're sitting down for a couple of hours per week, just like I do, on Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes Fridays, I will sit down for maybe an hour or two and just play a game, usually not by myself, but sometimes I do to relax, but usually with my friends, right? It's just fun, bro. It's just fun. I get really annoyed when people say that video games are, you know, bad for you. Of course they can be. And look, if you want to make the NBA, if you want to become the next, I don't know, Mr. Beast in terms of views and popularity, if you want to become the next Ronaldo, you probably can't be playing much video games or as much video games as most people in your youth. You probably need to be working harder. You need to make sacrifices. I am talking to the average teen here. And look, if you can't relate to me, video games just aren't your thing, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to force yourself to play games. However, if you find joy out of it, it motivates you, it brings a smile on your face, and you're probably under the age of 18. If you're over 18 and your life shit, video games, you probably shouldn't be engaging in them. But because I've worked very hard in my youth and balanced it with video games, I like to sit down sometimes. Hopefully you can resonate with my perspective. Much love, brother, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.